Welcome to my channel, All for Health with Jane. Family, the two confessions by Muzi Sibiya have already been heard in court. The confession by Lieutenant Colonel Mbotho and the confession by Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe that was heard today in court. Family, I tried to compare the two confessions by Sibiya, and I have found out that at least, most of the things are the same from what Sibiya said when he, or maybe allegedly said when he was with Colonel Mbotho, and what he allegedly said when he was with Colonel Hadebe. So, looking at the two confessions, family, what I have noticed is it was both on Wednesday in both confession statements when Sibiya was called by Marco Buthelezi. And he says Marco was with Makimbi, meaning or in the background he could hear Makimba Buthelezi, who was with Marco. And he says they offered him a job to say, we have a job, come, let's go and do it. And then they went to where he was staying in Basotho Hostel. They came with a white polo. I can see that in both confessions. And immediately after arriving, after they spoke about who was going to be eliminated, then they went to Mkulu. They went to the traditional healer who gave them a go-ahead. So it's seen, in both the statements without having contradictions. And then when they arrived at the house that was pointed out as the place where the killing took place, then he says they had to decide who is going inside, who is remaining out. And he said Marco and Makimba went inside and he remained outside as a watchman, just watching whoever will be coming to disturb them. It is seen in both. And then another thing that I've seen, it's about the shots when they were in the house. He said from outside he had about 3 shots. And in both the statements, that one is being seen. He told Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe that it's 3 shots, gunshots that he had. And even with Colonel Mbotho, he says it was 3 gunshots that he had. And then from there, he says they only had 1 gun. So, by the way, they were only 3. He doesn't implicate any of the other 4 accused. In this one, when he was there, when Senzo Meyiwa was killed, there were only 3. Unlike with Ntanzi implicate all of them. The 5 of them were there when Senzo Meyiwa was killed. And he says the person who shot at Senzo was Carlos. Carlos, it's by the way, it's Carlos is accused number 3. Accused number 3, Mtobi Simngube. The other name from Mtobi Simngube is Carlos. So Carlos is the one who Ntanzi said he had a gun and he shot at Senzo. But in a case, Muzi Sibiya, Muzi says Marco Buthelezi is the one who shot Senzo Meyiwa. So there's a difference when it comes to that. And then another thing is when it comes to who was going to do what, I'm sure I spoke about that in both Marco and Makimba went inside. Then Muzi was outside. And then when he was speaking to Colonel Mbotho, he spoke about a person with dreadlocks and saying a person with dreadlocks who shot Senzo was Marco. And Makimba was wearing a red cap and he says he was wearing a white cap. But when he was telling Colonel Hadebe, he did not indicate whatever they were wearing. Okay, and then let me see if there's another thing. Okay, another thing is saying though he did not mention this with Colonel Hadebe, he only mentioned it with Colonel Mbotho. It's inside the house. They say, Mako and Makimba says, they found 3 people, 2 girls, meaning Kelly was one of the girls, plus Senzo. And then Senzo refused to give them the cell phone and started fighting. Then he was shot. So that part of, Senzo refusing and, struggling and doing whatever, he said it even with Colonel Hadebe. And then they had 3 shots in both confessions. It is heard, and at the end he was given 30,000 rands for that. So family, let's listen to, before we conclude, let's listen to this clip.
Photo 8 and 9 shows us about to leave Albertine SAPS.
Isithombe lesi sesishagalombini nesishagalolunye sona sibonisa thina sisazohamba lapha esiphoyiseni sase-Albertine.
Photo 10 and 11. 10 shows the odometer, though it's not clear, the odometer of the vehicle upon departure.
Isithombe lesi sesishume sona siyabonisa ukuthi imoto yayikade ihambe banga elingakanani.
Photo 11, we are all in the car leaving.
Isithombe sesishume nomuvo sibonisa sisonke sisemotweni.
Just on photo 10, can you just put in record the kilometers on departure?
Though they are not clear, but I did write them on the pro forma S80652.
Ama-kilometer wona ake usitshele uthi nangokho angabonakali kahle kodwa ngiwabhalile laphayana athi 80652.
Yes.
We then departed to Fosloras,
Saqhubeka saya eFosloras,
and on photo 12, it is our arrival at the said premises.
bese ke uma siya kwisithombe sesishume nambini siyabonisa mase sesifika kuleyo ndawo.
Now, how did you get to that place that is shown on photo 12?
We were directed by the accused.
Nifike kanjani kule ndawo eyukuthi ibonakala lapho kwisithombe sesishume nambini uthi sitshelwe umsolwa ukuthi sihambe kanjani?
And just for record purposes, can you once again put his name on record?
Muzi Sibiya.
Ake usitshele ukuthi ubani lo muntu othi uyena obekade entshela ukuthi nyephi uthi umuzi Sibiya.
Yes, and can you just clarify, did he point the road from the police station up to this point, or what was the position?
No, my lord, he never pointed the road from the police station.
Yes.
He requested us to drive him to the entrance of Fosloras, as I had already given evidence.
Ake usazise ke ukuthi wenzile ukhombile ukuthi hambani lani jike lani iphume kanje kulomgwaqo uthi cha uye wasicela ukuthi simfikise la iFosloras kungenwa khona ekuqaleni kweFosloras.
From there, he then directed us to this house.
Ukusuka lapho ke wasihambisa ke ukuthi siyofika kanjani kulendlu ebonakala kuleso sithombe.
Photo 13 shows Muzi at the back on the left side with the door open.
Isombe sesishume nantathu sibonisa umuzi esemuva emotweni.
And do you know the address of that particular house that's shown on photo 12?
The specific house had no address.
Lesiya sithombe simbonisa emuva umnyango uvuliwe. Uyabuzwa ukuthi lelo kheli la kuleyo ndlu wangade niyibona noma niyazi ukuthi yayikade ingenalo ikheli leyo charity.
Yes, let me proceed.
And then photo 14 shows Muzi pointing out where he alleges he stood during the incident.
Uyake kwisithombe sesishume nane uthi sibonisa umuzi la yena ethi wayekade eme khona ngalesikhathi isigameko siyenzakala,
including photo 15
nesithombe seshumi nanhlanu
and photo 16.
nesithombe seshumi nesithupha.
Photo 17 shows us leaving the premises.
Isithombe lesi seshumi nesikhombisa siyasibonisa sesihamba kuleya ndawo,
And we were directed to a place next to the hostel, which is on photo 18.
siye sayisiwa ke kwindawo engasehosteli esikwisithombe seshumi nesishiyagalombini.
Just before you proceed, Lieutenant Colonel, on photo 17, just to the left of the vehicle, there's a structure there. Can you just put that on record? What is that?
It's an electricity substation.
Manje lapho kwisithombe seshumi nesikhombisa kunento laphayana la ukuthi ingasemotweni yini, uthi yila ukuthi ugesi wawukade udonswa khona.
Photo 18 shows us at the next place where he says he got off from the vehicle.
Isithombe seshumi nesishiyagalombini sisibonisa indawo la yena athi uye wahlika emotweni.
Photo 19 shows us exactly where he got out.
Isithombe seshumi nesishiyagalolunye sisibonisa la ukuthi uye wahlika khona,
Including photo 20.
naso isithombe samashumi amabini.
Photo 21 shows us when we were leaving that place.
Isithombe semashumi amabini nanye sisibonisa la besikade sihamba kuleyo ndawo.
Photo 22 is arrival at Albertine SAPS.
Lesi sengamashumi amabini nambini sisibonisa sesifika ke esiphoyiseni sase Albertine,
Including 23.
naso mashumi amabini nantathu.
24 shows myself standing next to Muzi.
Isithombe samashumi amabini nane sisibonisa mina ngime eduze nomuzi
At Albertine SAPS.
besikade sisesiphoyiseni sase Albertine ngaleso sikhathi.
Photo 25 shows the odometer reading.
Isithombe sangamashumi amabini nanhlanu sibonisa ukuthi imoto yayihambe ibanga elingakanani.
It is not clear, my lord, but I had noted it on the pro forma as 80690.
Nkosi yenkantolo akubonakali kahle la kwisithombe, kodwa ngibhalile ukuthi amakhilomitha lapho wayekade sewathi 80690.
If you can refer to page 5 of the preamble, exhibit GG.
Ake uyeke ku page 5 wobufakazi buka
Can you
GG.
just place on record from date return?
Date returned 2020-0605, time 13:30.
Ake usho ke ukuthi nibuye nini, uthi sibuye nge-5 zika June 2020 imizuzu emashumi amathathu ngemva kwehora lokuqala emini.
Kilometer readings 80690.
Amakhilomitha wona abonisa ukuthi wakade ukuthi 80690.
Yes, what happened after that?
We went back into the office that we used before we left.
Kwenzakeleni ngemva kwalokho uthi sibuyele kuleli office la besikade sikhona ngaphambi kokuthi sihambe.
And I requested Sergeant Mapakela to obtain photos of Muzi after the pointing out.
Ngacela ke uSergeant Maphakela ukuthi athathe izithombe zikaMuzi ngemva kokuthi kwakade sekukhonjiwe.
Just for record purposes, which are those photos?
That's photo 26 to photo 31.
Eziphi izithombe lezo ukhuluma ngazo? Uthi lezi ukusuka kuyithombe semashumi amabini nesithupha ukuya 31, ukuya kwisithombe sangamashumi amathathu nomuvo.
Yes.
After photos were taken, and then we then sat down with Muzi,
Ngemva kokuthi izithombe zithathwe siye sahlala ke nomuzi,
and I obtained further clarification of what he had pointed out.
Mina ke ngathatha futhi nengazelo nokucaciselwa kwezinto ebekade ezikhomba.
Should I read it in?
Yes.
Ngingafunda. Yavunywa naku uyafunda.
It states, Muzi Senzo Sibiya states that, I'm not sure about the month and day, but it was the year 2014. It was on a Wednesday when I was called by Marco Butelezi, who asked me where I was, and I told him at home where I stay. And he told me that he was coming to see me. He came accompanied by his friend Makimba Butelezi, and they were in a white Polo VW. I got inside the Polo and Marco told me that he had a job for us. I asked him what job it was, and he told me that it was to kill someone. I asked who that person was, and he said Senzo. I said fine, we can do it. And we decided to go first to see a Nyanga, it's a Sangoma, to check whether the job will be successful. We went to the old man and he threw the bones and said it was good. The job can be done successfully. We paid 50 rands for checking and left. I was dropped off at home and we agreed to meet on Saturday, the day of the job. On Saturday we met and we went to a place, a house. I pointed out to Lieutenant Col Hadebe today, 2020-0605 in Fosloras, and we stopped at the corner and walked there. I was asked whether I want to go in and I said no. I will wait outside. Marco and Makimba went inside the house and I heard about 3 shots and they came out running.
Just like before shots, there's another way to just put that on record.
I heard about 3 gunshots and they came out running. We all left and ran to the car. I was told in the car by Marco that they went in and found people inside and demanded money and cell phones. He told me Senzo confronted them and was fighting and resisting. He was then shot and everyone ran to the bedrooms. We drove back to my place at Sutu Hostel and I got out next to the high mast, the electric light. They then left and the firearm was with Marco. I pointed out the 2 places, the house where the shooting took place and the spot where I was dropped off after the shooting to Lieutenant Col Hadebe. I can confirm that my rights were explained to me and I was not assaulted or threatened.
Family, in the beginning of this video, I forgot to indicate that when he was with Colonel Hadebe, because it was the pointing out, the camera was very important there. So they started taking photos from when they left Alberton to until Fosloras, where they were going to point out those places. So at Fosloras, Muzi pointed out where the killing took place, and he pointed out where they dropped him off. So the friends dropped him off. So those are the 2 places that he pointed out when he was with Colonel Hadebe. And then finally, family, I would like to give a comment about the 100,000 that was paid to them. You know, this 100,000, according to me, it does not make sure. I'm looking at, Muzi says he was given 30,000. The 3 of them, they shared 100,000 among themselves. Maybe the 10,000 rand was for the petrol or whatever, I don't know. But he was given 30,000 and they paid Mkulu 5,000 each one of them. So, okay, the 3 of them, they added money to make 5,000 and they gave to Mkulu. So, okay, then, let's go back to Ntanzi. Bongani Ntanzi says, he was paid 45,000 rands. If the mastermind paid them 100,000 rand, looking at the way Ntanzi was treated on their way back to the hostel, remember, Ntanzi says they were pointing him with fingers, saying, you dare talk about this. You know, it's like they were undermining Ntanzi. Do you think they were going to give Ntanzi 45,000 rands when they were undermining him like that? Family, if they gave Ntanzi 45,000 rand, then each of them, the four of them, must have maybe received 60,000 each. I don't think they can share less than Ntanzi, what they've given to Ntanzi. That's my opinion anyway. So maybe in the comment section, that's what we can talk about. Just tell me if it's 100,000 that was given to them. Because now if we had to add it up, it's not going to be 100,000, especially in Ntanzi's team. You know, with Muzi's team, yes, 100 rand, it's reasonable, and we can even add it up. But with Ntanzi's team, 100,000 rands, it's very, there is no way. There is no way they were given 100,000 rands and given Ntanzi 45,000 rands. That's just my opinion. Family, thank you so much. Please like this video before you leave. Thank you for watching it. And if you haven't subscribed, do the right thing. Thank you very much for the growth that is seen in the channel. We are growing, family. We are growing. Thank you. Bye. See you on the next upload. Bye.